now an independent republic. It's really a very small enclave, and they took a decision, not a binding decision, not a law. By the way, there are only two laws like that. One is in France and the other is in Argentina. And well, they propagate as if it's been accepted by the whole world. Now, when Lithuania passed a decision like that, and a sort of a declaration, then they gave huge space in the first page, and so on. And then I wrote in an article in the Daily Cumhuriyet saying, they expose this, and they reserve a place, a huge place, for the decision of Lithuania, and those people who are voting in favor of that decision, let's say, know nothing about the history of Turkish-Armenian relations, not much really about 1915, 16, and so on. But still, and I know the conditions, the circumstances of the decisions taken like that. For instance, in parliaments, it's still the same thing in all parliaments. When the parliament meets, towards the end of the meeting, it may be after 12 o'clock at midnight, let's say 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, or reaching the 3 o'clock and so on and so forth. And if nobody says that, Mr. Speaker, we don't have a quorum in this room, if no one says this, discussions continue and they can take a decision. Well, in a parliament, let's say, of 400 members, if only 7 are left, you can take a decision of that sort only with the 7. And in many cases, they've done that. And the Lithuanian decision was given such a place in the front page of Agos when Hrant Dink was in operation. He was the editor-in-chief at that time, and I think the publisher as well. I wrote an article in the Turkish Cumhuriyet saying that, for instance, I wrote 2 books in several languages, and also in Turkish, saying that the great Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, contrary to what the Armenians have been propagated, never accepted the thing called the Armenian genocide and so on. And I proved it beyond reasonable doubt that this is the case. And at that time, this was being discussed. And there was a reference to it in the European Parliament saying that even the founder of that country has accepted it, whereas he had not. And I already published his handwritten statements about this issue, signed by him. And of course, I know well, and everybody does, who is an expert on these issues, his original signature, Kemal, Mim, Kemal, and so on. And although I have mentioned this, and the Daily Cumhuriyet devoted a single page, the whole page to me, when I related it once more, this issue, with documentation and so on. The Agos paper of Hrant Dink didn't care. And they didn't publish, and I said that they should have done it because they are pretending as if they are saying the truth and nothing but the truth. But these things are part of the truth. When it comes to relating news that serves their purpose, they publish it, and the other one they withheld from public. It's just like the story that I told you before, the small man being carried away by the men with the revolver and so on. And that they should do it. I mean, this, and then when I wrote that, they stopped my subscription. That was the only reaction. And then I wrote that again. Now they stopped my subscription. Fine, thank you. Germany wants to build a genocide memorial. Now I've said Germany wants to build the genocide memorial in Berlin. Now, all right, now, in their past, not the German people, but a fascist government that selected the Jews as a scapegoat, carried a state-decided and executed policy of extermination. There are very few genocide in history, in the history of the world, because this is a different kind of a crime. And they did that. And they are very guilty, they feel very guilty of having done that, because sometimes other people say, you know, to the younger generation, German generation, they say that now you happen to be the children of those who killed so many Jews and you've committed genocide and so on. Now there is a tendency in individuals, in groups, and also in some nations to get rid of their unwanted parts. That's the terminology in psychology and psychiatry. Their unwanted parts, and put them on the shoulders of another person and direct